My name is Emma Grayson, and the moment I opened that leather journal, my world tilted. It was a humid June morning in 2025, the Blue Ridge Mountains looming over my childhood home in Asheville, North Carolina. I was 32, a methodical woman with a passion for gardening and a small nursery business, grieving the loss of my mother, Evelyn, who'd passed 3 months ago from a sudden stroke at 65. My father, Robert, had moved to a retirement community, leaving me to clear the house. The attic was cluttered with memories, photo albums, her gardening tools, when I found it tucked behind a cedar chest. A worn leather journal, its pages yellowed, her neat handwriting filling the lines. I thought I knew everything about my mother, until I opened that leather journal. That night, alone in her bedroom, I read the first entry, a plan forming. The secret it hinted at would unravel my past. The discovery was a quiet earthquake. Evelyn had been my anchor, teaching me to prune roses, sharing stories of her youth in a small Appalachian town. My father's silence after her death had been heavy, his eyes avoiding mine. The journal, dated 1993, began with a cryptic note. "I can't undo it, but I'll protect her." My heart sank. I'd been an only child, their love a constant, yet these words suggested otherwise. The pain fueled a resolve. I'd uncover the truth, honor her memory. I moved the journal to my nursery office, taking my laptop, managing my Mountain Bloom business, earning $3,800 monthly. By July 2025, I'd saved $10,000, my focus sharpening with each page. The journey was draining. I balanced nursery work and journal deciphering, sleeping 5 hours a night, my hands stained with soil and ink. I'd built Mountain Bloom from a backyard hobby, selling perennials online, now valued at $90,000. The secret shaped a strategy. I'd trace the clues, find what she hid, and understand my family. I contacted a genealogist, costing $2,000, my savings hitting $12,000 by August 2025. I worked 50-hour weeks, cross-referencing entries with local records, earning a $1,500 bonus from a bulk order, my determination growing. Decoding the journal took patience. Entries spoke of a summer of loss, 1993, and a child given away, details vague, names redacted. I hired the genealogist, Mara Ellis, and gathered evidence. A faded birth certificate stub, a letter to an adoption agency, my mother's guilt-laden prose. My savings rose to $15,000, and I invested $3,500 in archival access, projecting $6,000 returns. I visited the library on September 1, 2025, scouring microfilms for 1993 Asheville adoptions. A clerk, noticing my intensity, offered help, but I found nothing concrete. Doubts crept in. Would this lead to pain? Would my father know? I pressed on, mapping a family tree. The confrontation loomed. I invited Mara to my nursery office on September 10, 2025, my heart thudding. She arrived, her briefcase heavy with files. I spread the journal, the certificate stub, the letter. "She had another child," Mara said, her voice soft. "Adopted out, likely local." Owen nodded. I traced a sealed record, 1993, female, Grayson linked. I called my father, demanding answers. He arrived, his face ashen, the journal in my hands. "What's this?" he rasped. I read an entry. "I gave her up to save us." He broke, admitting a sister existed, adopted to protect their marriage. The revelation was raw, truth gained yet fractured. The shift was disorienting. I expanded my research, securing a $5,000 contract with a botanical magazine for an article, my savings climbing to $18,000. My career valuation hit $100,000, but the secret consumed me. My father called, begging silence, but I hung up, his complicity a barrier. My nursery thrived, booking $2,000 in fall orders. My focus turned to the sister, launching a Lost Bloom project to trace her, earning $1,200 in donations. But tension brewed. A local historian, Paul Decker, began questioning my inquiries, his tone probing, his notes suspicious. I uncovered his tie to my father. Old friends, costing me a $2,500 deal. My phone buzzed with an unknown number. "Stop digging, Emma." I froze. Who was this? Oh, a family ally? The discovery felt fragile, a new threat emerging. I strengthened my ground. I consulted a privacy expert, spending $1,800 and gathered data against Paul. Record requests, father's calls. My project gained 300 followers, adding $1,500 monthly, my valuation rising to $110,000. I upgraded nursery security, adding $1,300 in cameras. My savings stabilized at $20,000, but the message lingered. A break-in attempt triggered the cameras. 2 figures fled, leaving a torn adoption form. The police logged it, but leads were vague. I called Mara, who warned of personal stakes or family cover-ups. My heart raced. Was this Paul's move, or tied to a deeper secret? The standoff grew. I published a Lost Bloom update hinting at the adoption, pressuring Paul's network. My income rose to $6,000 monthly, my footing solidifying. But the unknown number texted again. You're near. Back off. A photo followed. My nursery, a shadow lurking. I tensed. Who were they? Paul's crew? My father's protectors? Standing in the office, the journal in hand, I felt my mother's legacy, and a chilling uncertainty. What was next? Hey Revenge Tempest fans. Loving Clara's mystery journey? Smash that subscribe button to join our crew for more thrilling tales. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. The shadow lurking near my nursery and the ominous text, "You're near. Back off," lingered in my mind as I stood in my Asheville office, the Blue Ridge Mountains framing the window with an eerie calm. The thrill of uncovering my mother's journal hinting at a hidden sibling, backed by the adoption form, felt like a fragile thread against this growing menace. My fingers traced the torn paper, the unknown sender's warning a stark contrast to the progress I'd made. The police watch on the break-in had yielded little, Mara Ellis's investigation a flickering hope. Who were they? Paul Decker the historian? My father's allies? My pulse quickened, but I steadied myself. My Lost Bloom project earned $1,500 monthly, my savings at $20,000, and Mountain Bloom thrived with $2,000 monthly from orders. Yet that chilling message hinted at a deeper secret. I saved the photo, resolved to trace its source, and called Mara, her voice a steady anchor. Push forward, she said. We'll shield you. I nodded, plotting my next move. The next morning, I met Mara at a quiet cafe in downtown Asheville, the scent of freshly brewed tea blending with my determination. Her keen eyes scanned the nursery photo and torn form. This is deliberate obstruction, she said, her notebook open. Amplify your findings and secure your base. The sister's key. I agreed, my mind racing. I contacted local genealogists, launching a family roots campaign to crowdsource adoption leads, costing $4,000 and dipping my savings to $16,000. At my nursery office, I briefed my team, 2 part-time workers, a social media manager. In the greenhouse, the air humid with purpose. We're targeted, I explained, showing the evidence. Their faces hardened, but they pledged support. My business valuation hit $120,000, but the stakes rose with every seedling. My search intensified. I expanded Mountain Bloom, securing a $6,000 contract with a regional garden center for custom plants, and invested $5,000 in DNA tracing kits, projecting $9,000 returns. My savings climbed to $18,000, and I upgraded my office with a locked archive room, its shelves lined with records, working 16-hour days to decode clues. My father called, his voice strained, urging me to stop, but I hung up, his involvement a wall. My nursery bookings rose, adding $2,500 monthly. Mara's update unsettled me. Paul had been seen at the library, his notes mirroring my research, and his alliance with my father fueled his interference. He might have hired someone, Mara said. But the form suggests a family pact. They flickered in my thoughts, a mystery I couldn't solve. The resistance escalated a week later. A package arrived, shredded journal pages, a note. Final notice. No sender. My stomach knotted. I called Mara, who suggested a public reveal to expose the cover-up. I installed motion sensors costing $2,500 and hired a night guard, a sturdy woman named Grace. The police analyzed the note, glove marks inconclusive, while Mara traced the delivery to a drop-off near Paul's office, but the courier claimed cash, the trail fading. Paranoia crept in, every rustle a potential threat, Yet I refused to retreat. I leveraged the project's buzz, launching a Roots Live podcast series that booked $3,000, boosting my income. Paul contacted me, calling from a blocked number, his voice cold. "Emma, you're crossing lines," he warned. "Drop it." I hung up, but curiosity gnawed. Mara dug deeper, uncovering Paul's ties to a local attorney, Helen Reed, who'd handled adoptions in 1993, my mother's era. "They might be guarding a scandal," Mara cautioned. I confronted Paul at a neutral park, Grace nearby. "Why hide this?" I demanded. He smirked. "You're stirring old graves." I left, his words a caution, but Helen's involvement hinted at a broader conspiracy. I mounted a counterstrike. With Mara's help, I streamed the podcast, presenting the journal entries and adoption form, drawing 800 listeners. I boosted my research, securing an $8,000 contract with a heritage society, pushing my valuation to $140,000. The society's security monitored my office, easing my nerves. But the tension mounted. A podcast was interrupted, audio cut, a Helen business card left behind. The police linked it to the attorney, but evidence was shaky. I called Mara, who suggested a family angle given my father's silence. The stream gained traction. I compiled evidence. Mara's reports, the note, Paul's notes, footage. Working late to refine it, my office aglow with desk light. Helen offered a $7,000 bribe to halt the podcast. "Let it rest," she pressed over a tense call. "No," I told Mara. "I want my sister found." The next live event arrived, a virtual gathering of 1,200. Paul scowled as I revealed the 1993 adoption clue, Helen's card. The chat surged, listeners rallied, and Paul's credibility wavered. Helen retreated, her influence fading. As I signed off, Paul muttered, "They'll silence you." That night my phone buzzed again, same unknown number. "You've exposed it. Now hide." A photo followed. My office, a figure at the door. I froze. Who were they? Helen's network? My father's protectors? The discovery felt potent, a new danger surfacing. I called Mara, who promised intensified tracking. My truth was unfolding, but the threat was imminent. The figure at my office door and the threatening text, "You've exposed it. Now hide," haunted me as I stood in my Asheville nursery, the Blue Ridge Mountains casting long shadows across the greenhouse. The triumph of uncovering my mother's journal, hinting at a hidden sibling, backed by the Roots Live podcast, felt like a brittle shield against this rising danger. My breath hitched as I studied the photo, the unknown sender's warning a stark contrast to the progress I'd achieved. The police task force on Helen Reed's involvement had stalled. Mara Alice's leads a dim light. Who were they? Helen's network? My father's guardians? I dialed Mara, my voice steady despite the fear. "Track them," I said. "They're too close." She promised unwavering effort, her tone resolute. The truth was mine. Paul Decker discredited, my search celebrated, but peril shadowed every bloom. The next day I met Mara at a secluded cabin in the mountains, the scent of pine grounding me. Her furrowed brow examined the door photo and interrupted audio. "This is heightened retaliation," she said, her fingers tracing the figure. "Reveal all and fortify your haven. The sister's identity is the linchpin." I nodded, my mind racing. I contacted adoption support groups, planning a family reunion event to unite clues, costing $7,000 and dipping my savings to $11,000. At my nursery I briefed my team, 3 workers, a podcast host. In the office, the air thick with resolve. "We're pursued," I explained, showing the evidence. Their faces steeled, but they rallied, vowing loyalty. My business earned $7,000 monthly, a testament to my rise, but risk loomed. I spent $8,500 on enhanced security, fences, and alarms, reducing my savings to $2,500. Protection became my stronghold. Mara's first update came that evening. She tailed Helen to a meeting with a secretive adoption ring, the Carolina Circle, linked to 1990s cover-ups. "They're shielding your sister," Mara said. "Evelyn's choice tied to their operations, possibly a forced adoption." I shared it with my team, who began networking with advocates. Meanwhile, I immersed myself in work, launching a Bloom Legacy book series, booking $15,000 and earning $9,000. My savings rose to $6,000, my career valuation reaching $170,000. My father called, pleading for peace, but I hung up, his role a burden. The threat cast a pall over my success. A second message arrived days later. Burned journal scraps with "silence or ruin" scrawled in soot, left on my porch. No prints. The police upgraded the case to a protection detail, assigning an officer, but progress was slow. I called Mara, who suggested a live reveal to corner the circle. I agreed, drafting a statement with her. From journal shock to truth seeker, I face an adoption ring's fury. I won't yield. The event, held virtually, drew 3,000 attendees. My voice wavered as I presented the adoption form and Helen's card, but I stood firm. The story exploded. Gardner unveils family secret, boosting my bookings to $17,000 monthly, though the danger escalated. Mara's next report deepened the intrigue. She traced the unknown number to a burner phone tied to the circle's enforcer, a woman named Carla Dunn with a history of erasing records. "Your father might be complicit," Mara said. Lila's adoption was his call. I tensed, the stakes soaring. I rallied the event community, forming a Roots alliance to challenge the circle, strengthening my base. I fortified the nursery, adding $6,000 in motion sensors and a seventh guard. My savings dipped to $0, but the team's spirit held. I trained them in public advocacy, turning the space into a hub. The sabotage probe gained traction. My team uncovered emails. Carla ordering Helen to disrupt my podcast, costing me $7,000 in damages. I reported it to the police, who raided a circle office, seizing files. My father called, tearful. "Emma, I hid it to save us." I hung up, his confession await. My mother's friend, Jane, visited, admitting, "Evelyn regretted it daily." I passed it to Mara, adding family pressure to the case. The circle's grip weakened, losing 50% of its influence. Victory transformed my world. My savings hit $35,000 with new contracts. $19,000 monthly from the book series, $10,000 from a garden expo deal. My career valuation soared to $220,000. I expanded the nursery to a community center, its greenhouse a sanctuary after months of turmoil. I hosted a team gathering, toasting with lemonade under the mountains. But the peace cracked when a package arrived. Unsealed, no sender. The door photo, a new note: "You found her. They'll find you. No signature." My blood ran cold. Mara traced it to a dead-end account. The police suspected Carla's elite, but proof was elusive. I hired a security consultant, spending $9,000 to safeguard my legacy. The threat persisted. A drone circled the nursery one night, retreating when guards fired flares. My website was hacked, a video file, a hooded figure saying, "Your roots end here." The police increased patrols, but leads lagged. I channeled anxiety into my work, launching a Family Bloom scholarship, funded $40,000, turning pain into purpose. The expo contract grew to $12,000 monthly. I drafted the book, Journal of Secrets, working late to capture it. Yet the mastermind eluded me. One afternoon, reviewing footage, a figure paused near the greenhouse, too distant to identify. Mara enhanced it, suggesting Carla, possibly with circle backup. The police interviewed me for 8 hours, mapping Carolina ties, but the leader remained a phantom. I added $8,000 in surveillance. My savings stabilized at $40,000, but the vigilance cost pressed. Standing in the greenhouse, the mountains aglow, I felt a bittersweet win. My sister was near, my father broken, but the they in that note loomed. Was it Carla's ring? The family echo? I watered a rose, the dusk deepening, but that hooded figure's promise lingered. What was next? Only time would tell. Hey Revenge Tempest fans. Emma's journey from journal shock to family truth is epic. Loved it? Smash that subscribe button and join our crew. Drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from. Hey Revenge Tempest fans. Loving Clara's mystery journey? Smash that subscribe button to join our crew for more thrilling tales. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. Hey Revenge Tempest fans. Loving Clara's mystery journey? Smash that subscribe button to join our crew for more thrilling tales. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from.